All right, so you guys already learned about transformations, and the two things that you learned about transformations were reflections and translations. And today we're going to talk about rotations. So, what are rotations? Let's go ahead and scroll down to rotations. So rotations they turn around a fixed point. So here our fixed point is P. And what happens is triangle QPR, it's going to rotate from this point P, and it's going to rotate about the fixed point, and it's going to make its new triangle P, Q, and R. Now the center of rotation is a fixed point. So P is your center of rotation. And then the angle of rotation is the degree it rotates. So here, PQR rotates to PQR 60 degrees. So the rotation is that it rotates around a fixed point. The center of rotation is the actual fixed point. So here in this diagram, it's P. And then the angle of rotation is the degree it actually rotates. And in this diagram, the degree it's rotating is 60 degrees. Now let's look at an example. So the first example here is it says rotations in a coordinate plane. So rotate figure ABCD 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin and name the coordinates of the new vertices A1, B1, C1, and D. Now, here is our main figures, A, B, C, and D. And here's our coordinate points for A, B, C, and D. We've got 2, -2, 4, 1, 5, 1, and 5, -1. Now we're going to rotate this figure 90 degrees, but we're not going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. We're actually going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, which is the opposite of the way a hand of a clock goes. Now, you're actually going to rotate the points. You're going to rotate it one coordinate up. So 90 degrees is you just go over one coordinate plane. So here we've got A and we've got 2, -2. So how you're going to do this, let's go ahead and look at the example. So we've got 2, -2. So when you rotate 90 degrees, you actually flip the points. So here we actually don't flip them because they're actually both the same. So we're going to have, our new point is going to be 2, 2. Because here, they're actually the same number, so you don't have to flip them. So we're going to go over one coordinate plane. Now A is down here and in this area here. So you're actually going to go counterclockwise to the next box over. So 2, 2, that's our new point here. We're going to label it A1. Now B is 4, 1. So over 4, up 1. This is our B here. Now what you're going to do is actually when you rotate 90 degrees, you're actually going to flip the X and the Y. So it's going to be 1, 4. And then we have to go over 1 because B is here, okay, in this region, and you're actually going to go over 1 over. So we're going to go 1, 4. So over 1, up 4, because we flipped our X and Y when we go over our Y-axis. And we're going to label this B1. Now if you notice, this is -1, 4. So let's add our negative here, -1. So don't try to add the negatives until you go over your coordinate plane, because if you do, then you're going to get confused. So our third point is C, which is 5, 1. So again, we're going to flip our X and Y. So we're going to go 1, 5. Now let's figure out where C is. C is over here in this region, so we're going to go over 1 counterclockwise to the next region. Now remember, we only go over 1 because it's 90 degrees. So we're rotating 90 degrees, so we're only going to go over one coordinate plane. So let's go ahead and go 1 and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is our new coordinate point. And again, that's -1, 5. So let's go ahead and add our negative. And now D is 5, -1. So 5, -1 is our new D point. Now again, D is here in this region, so we're just going to actually go over to this region up here, and we're going to flip our X and Y so it becomes 1, 5, and we keep it as 1, 5 because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are actually both positive. So let's go ahead and draw our new. And this we rotated our figure 90 degrees counterclockwise. All right, let's look at another example. So let's look over here. And our first one says rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So let's go ahead and look at an example. So clockwise. Now clockwise means that you're actually rotating it the way a clock actually goes. So you're going to go from this region here all the way over here because you're only going 90 degrees. So 90 degrees means you're only moving over one coordinate plane. So our first A is -4, 1. So remember, when we go 90 degrees, we switch our X and Y. So it's going to become 1, 4. So we're going to go over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is our new A point. Okay. Now B is -1, 1. Now they're both 1, so we're actually going to just keep 1 and 1. So 1 and 1. And that is our new B point. And C is -1, 4. So again, you need to switch your X and Y so it becomes 4, 1. So we're going to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. And that is our new C point. And all we're going to do now is connect our dots, and we just rotated our figure here clockwise 90 degrees. Now notice that I didn't add any negatives because the way that we rotated, it just so happened that all of our new points were all positive. But if all of our new points were negative, we would need to then add in our negative points. All right. Now we've done both counterclockwise and clockwise for 90 degrees. Now let's do rotate 180 degrees. Now 180 degrees, you're going to go over 2 coordinate points. So here we've got coordinate 1, 2, and 3. So when you go 180 degrees, you're going to go 90, 180. So you're going to move this figure here over to this quadrant over here. So we're going to move over 2 quadrants instead of just 1 quadrant. So when we went 90 degrees, we moved over 1 quadrant. If we rotate 180 degrees, we're going to move over 2 quadrants. So let's look. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate 180 degrees and we're going to go clockwise. So 180 degrees clockwise. So clockwise means you're going the way a clock goes, okay? And 180 degrees means that you're moving that figure over 2 quadrants, where 90 degrees we only moved it over 1 quadrant. So we're going to take this figure and we're going to move it 2 quadrants over to this figure. Now, remember in 90 degrees, we switched our X and Y. So our B coordinate was 4, 1, and when we rotated 90 degrees, we switched our X and Y, so it was 1, 4. In 180 degrees, you keep your X and Y the same. So your new A point is still going to be 1, 1, but it's actually going to be in 2 quadrants over. So 1 quadrant, 2 quadrants. So 1, 1. And then what you're going to do is you're going to see, oh, so those are both negative, so just go ahead and add in your negatives, and those are your new points. Okay, so that's your new A point. Now B is 1, 3. Again, for 180 degrees, you keep your X and Y the same. So 1, 3, you're going to move over 2 quadrants. So 1, 2, we've got over 1, down 3, and we look, those are both negative, so we can now add in our negatives. Okay? Now for our C point, we've got 4 and 3. And again, for 180 degrees, we keep our X and Y the same. So we're going to go 4, 3. And we're going to go over 4 because we want to do 2 quadrants. So we're going to go over 4, down 3. And again, those are both negative. So let's go ahead and add in our negatives. And then finally, D is 4, 1, 180 degrees. You keep your X and Y the same. So 4, 1. You're going to go over 4, down 1. That is your new D point. Again, those are both negative, so let's add in our negatives. And let's go ahead and label, and then go ahead and make your new figure. So we rotated this box 180 degrees clockwise. So go ahead and now do the rest on your own. So do the last 4 here. You're going to rotate this figure 90 degrees, this figure 180 clockwise, this figure 90 degrees clockwise, and this figure 180 degrees counterclockwise.